Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Stone Soup. It's a glorious day in Boston where the smoke from the Canada fires are blocking out the sun. It's a brisk 81 degrees right now, or at least I imagine. It is the return of Stone Soup. So glad you all could make it. Thank you for the links, Richard. Check out his interview series and check out the rest of Stone Soup, which will be announced soon for July and hopefully in August. I will be taking another week off in August, but we will have more features. There are no end to cool people who are coming by. And one of our cool cats is here tonight, Mary Ann Honaker, who is boasting a new book. I shared a link a while ago where you could pre order it where you could pre-order it before it comes out. I did that a couple of weeks ago. I'll share the link with you later in the hopes that you can do the same. Looks like James and Jan are joining us right now. Seems like a few of you have had problems with joining tonight, so I do apologize for that. I have no control over it, unfortunately. I think it's just uh, the way things are working nowadays. In other words, shit's fucked, but we all persevere. So let me just rename Jan and James and we'll get started. Mercury retrograde. Is that actually happening right now? I always lose track. I no longer listen to Daryl Martinez, the Cosmic Muffin on WBCN. He was the one who would always give you the report, and he'd always ended with, "It's a wise man who fools the stars. It is a fool who is ruled by them." Actually, I think he was less gender specific. I think he says, "A wise person who rules the stars is a fool who is ruled by them." But Mary Ann Honaker is our feature tonight. I'll drop a link so you can pre-order the book. I hope you all do. And I hope you are all ready for the open mic. I'm assuming everyone is on tonight. If someone just wants to view and listen, just let me know. But I think everyone here has been on the mic before, so I'm looking forward to all of you talking. And I'm going to start with the person who had the most trouble getting on. Let's get Jackie Chow into the open mic. I'm just going to bypass the Ramnator, and you can take.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's my internet. It's not your fault in any way. Okay. So I'm gonna read some haiku today haiku that I submitted to Frog Pond, which is a haiku journal. I'm gonna read 5 haiku. Running friends' poems through an AI assessor. Creeping vines. Fickle butterfly, I flit from one task to the next. Binge watching movies, the cat shifts from one cushion to another. I thought I was weird. The puppy averts his eyes in our blinking match. Carpet stains removed, my entire menagerie annihilated. And then I have another poem that's not really a poem, but okay, let me see. A haibun. It's a narrative haibun. The chorus class. Iggy Lou ducked her head to dodge the gazes of her classmates as she walked into junior high chorus. How happy they were, the girls who wafted the scent of Aquinet in their teased bangs. How opposite Iggy felt, her yellow windbreaker reeking of the mildew stench of her family's condo in Chinatown. I think we're alone now, Sabrina sang. If only Iggy could style her hair and wear makeup like Sabrina. But her mother would not allow it. Nobody in school cared about the reasons for her unbecoming appearance. They had talks with her, urging her to change her looks, but when she didn't, they gave up and shunned her. But Iggy knew mentally the words and the tune of the song Sabrina was singing. She listened to the radio all day long since her mother didn't allow her to go anywhere. As a matter of fact, music was her escape. It still is, sometimes. Teenage dream, crawling back to it to finish the song. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Let's bring ourselves now to Mr. Richard Spizak. Good to see you again, sir.
Thank you. It is, as always, an honor to be here among the elite and elect, whether you vote or not. I have a piece here for you. It's called Suspense Building. It's called The Fool's Pools. You may catch my drift, perhaps. The Fool's Pools. First, it seemed to work. Then they rushed out and handed out a no-bid contract to some out-of-work jerk. They'd bury a big commission in it because it's got to be cooked and crooked, bangled and battered thick for him to win it or even begin it. Yeah, well, the water source itself, the river, is quite polluted, so they splashed about and raised some fuss, and what did they say? The whole damn thing is now rubber bottom booted. And just another raid on the treasury. It ain't complicated. As you plainly see, the scaffolding of lies all disintegrated. So after digging in this dazzling bunch of incompetent crooks, let's sprinkle in another crew of misshapen schnooks. Now, there's a fence around this dubious gem. Whether kept out or locked in, we may never know, right, Ben? Anyway, one must be restrained when we joggle the books. A little scrutiny you might well expect, but we've restrained any investigations that might arise with grappling hooks. Careful of your eyes. But if it gets tough, Bluto will dip out of the darkness and just break some necks. No more artifice. We're into brutal starkness. Didn't they know what the hell they was doing? Do you remember just in how few days and how many ways the pools was ruined? No more reflecting pool. That's what was needed. Not one with floating, bloating water toys for city kids to enjoy. Now they're all defeated. Well, I guess we'll see this whole big mess again and again repeated till all the hoodlums get their piece. We may find it complete release. The gritty vandals' handles have stirred the pot and ruined the upgrade already unsteady, damn expensive pool we got. But hey, no one's to blame for the collision of greedy contractors. With this decision, its ill-conceived revision, gross incompetence, some might shout. So, okay, Congress will launch a whitewash commission to suss it all out. The press has been neutered, so they don't even whisper. They certainly won't shout. People rich in Trump dementia came and stick in their 2 cents, yeah, like the gut-wrenching decision, as did little Mike Pence, or the Jewish space laser may be at fault for the big ugly mess. Somehow Biden, Harris, and Obama have delivered us this spicy, hot, fresh trauma on a peaceful nation led by the brilliant, hey, please, give them an ovation, for they should all have bored a scout troop to spill a little poisonous defoliant on it, the radish roots. But let's just get rid of his unconstitutional employment. Agent Orange has returned at last. Just spray a little on him for his makeup. How long can it last? The Fool's Pools. Should I do one more or wait for the next round?
We won't be doing a next round, so if you want one more, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, this is a real downer. It's called rain research. Rain research. The tearing, wearying, slow pause before the fainting tall fall. High clouds polished by the wind-wending winds. High clouds, wispy tendrils curl like moving living things, evolving, shifting wings, scattering the sun's powerful beams that bear burdens. Wavelets sing, waves, quanta-pierced, brightened molecules bent, redirected, sent by the mighty molecular bonds, breaking, shaking states, passing, paused by the solar passions faint to collide and coincide, to collect, select, to break. Spinning, arcing, bumping, microscopic dust, pollen, plus those ubiquitous fluids, plus carbon filaments, cooler gases slowly gel, molecular water collides, abides, and turning tumbles slowly, aggregating, undulating waves barely break, Water moisture's mist, spinning molecular mazurkas, mass threads pass the running rivulets of mission moisture, but ever bouncing in buffeted threads, combining, twining, all about, dancing and darting, swirls and curls of earth breath, gravity, slowly swallowing, bouncing, bursting bumbles, tiny molecular water falling, shaking, changing hands to blend and descend. Thermals bleed off, lead off, binges bring, bending, blending, downward seed sending, watered, wrapped around the tiniest particles, blending. Surface tension wears its particles proudly, decorating these tiny scintillating bundles, the thunders bursting as the aggregating bundles tremble to tumble, beginning harrowing, billowing ballet, downward sailing. Without fail, they seek the earth, tumbling, bumping, glowing, glowing, falling faster, and the laughter and the tumbling water runs down the hills of the wind, racing the gusts, rippling the sky, rivers tumbling, racing, cascades down into puddles at your feet. Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. And I'd like to welcome up next Tammy Smith, if she's ready.
Hello. I wrote this afternoon. Well, late morning, early afternoon. Um, so first rough draft. A lesson about Mr. Lincoln. A lesson about Mr. Lincoln so intoxicating. I'm surprised to discover it's about a rose and not the president. This spry, silver-haired veteran wants me to share his passion for plants. He settles into my dark, red office chair, compares it to the deep, velvety petals of a Mr. Lincoln, chuckles about this tall, vigorous shrub with such a strong presence. Oops, he meant to say fragrance, but when he doesn't correct his slip, I let it slide. He teaches me to cultivate grace. I discover how important a garden is when he asks me if I grow my own vegetables. And if I do I know that tomato and pepper plants bloom until the first frost, but that they're simple to prune? I ask him why he loves Mr. Lincoln. He tells me how it was bred in 1964 by Swim and Weeks and why it's still one of the best red roses, how it thrives as a foundation. It needs strategic pruning. I'm in awe of this veteran, just 6 weeks into therapy, 6 months shy of his 80th trip around the sun, tough enough to survive the threats of disease and pests, brave enough to still bloom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tammy. And with that, I'd like to bring it over to Mr. Mark States.
Thank you, Chad. I felt the pressure, but I pass it off. I heard your glockenspiel pounded soft. I climbed on top of you, you said get off. Must this drag on forever? That's what I was trying to do, but no means no, so I have to go. Fingers wander the nightstand, can't see the light. I slept on the floor because I could no longer stand the bed we shred, moonlight over the ocean decades ago. Memory Lane is a treacherous road. No guardrails and brake pads are worn down. Pull the ring and toss, then a throat explodes. Stuck in a present where collateral damage was hopes for our future. I rip open my rib cage and show you this bruised heart. You proclaim to expose to the world the cavern of lies where my soul resides. Must this drag on forever? A door lock and a thermostat knob. a feud as a full-time job. A violin bow slowly swaying over a raised eyebrow. A ghost's reflection that cannot be wiped from window. A sunset demolition with volume turned low. Life is a thousand-piece puzzle, no illustration on box cover to guide the way. We figure out how the pieces fit as we go along. Lost in the want, a flea clings to the carcass of a dog dead a week, still expecting a steady stream of blood from the vein. I'm just looking for a little sunshine to poke through the purple haze. The dragon drags on forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I thought I was the only one who knew that that late Cars song. It's definitely
You're
worth checking
not.
out. No.
Yes, it is.
And let's move on to Mr. Robert Doodle Mac and Cheese, otherwise known as Robert Fleming, visual poet from Delaware. Take it away.
Thank you, Chad. So I'm going to share the screen. So this is one of my artist inspirations. It's Leonardo da Vinci. He also was an inventor. He lived 1452 through 1519. I'd say about 20% of my art are human portraits. And here is Leonardo's most well-known portrait, the Mona Lisa. The number one question people have asked about this portrait is, why is she smiling? But it was never revealed the answer. And the Mona Lisa was never sold at auction. It was directly given to an art gallery. And it's estimated to be worth $860 million to $1 billion. I think it's currently in the Louvre in Paris, if I remember correctly. So here is a photo that Dane Ince took of me, who was the host of Time to Arrive, and he took it while I was in a Zoom meeting. And here I made a variant on the Mona Lisa called the Doodle Lisa. And the title of this is the Doodle Lisa After Fucked by Leonardo da Vinci. That's why I have such a serene look on my face. And I'm trying to work on to be able to auction this off at Christie's with the starting minimum bid of $1 million. Here on the left is the photo that Dane took, and the Doodle Lisa on the right. And here are some other variants on that image. The left side is a black and white one. The right one is something called Brush Chaos, which looks like if you took a paintbrush and did marks over the image. And these are more surrealistic images of the Doodle Lisa. So I just finished about 2 weeks ago competing in the People's Artist competition, and I offered my 3 largest benefactors to do a free artwork. One of them, his name is Paul Sen, and he is a musician, and he asked me to do a work to promote a song that he and 2 other people recorded called Soul of Wonder. Here it is. So the 3 instruments used in this piece are the mandolin, the guitar, and the saxophone. Here is Paul on the left. He sang and plays the guitar. Jeremy plays the sax, and Martha is the singer. This was my first arrangement of the text and the images. And then I decided to go for a gradient background. A gradient is where you have two colors in the background and it transitions from one to the other. And then this is more blue to green. And then this is a little bit of a gradient within blue. And then this is a calm of that. It's more purplish. I also offered Paul several different types of backgrounds. Here is like a desert. And here is a hailstorm. And oops, I didn't copy up the snowstorm. I'll get it next time. But so far, the favorites of Paul are the gradients. And he's going to pick one, and then I will send him one image for social media, which will be about the size about 500 kilobytes. And then one image that he could take to a printer, which will be over 3 megabytes. So there won't be any pixelation when it's printed. Thank you for letting me share my art, and wish me the best of luck with the Doodle Lisa.
If advertising on here helps you sell it, we want to cut. But good luck. Good luck regardless. The next person coming up on the open mic, let's welcome up from the shadows, Mr. John Wezick.
Hi. So, I have this confession to make. When somebody posts a poem on Facebook, I don't always read it. So this is called a poem to scroll past. Barreling past the speed bump that is this poem, your attention races down the information superhighway. No time to slow for studious metaphors carrying books into crosswalks when gluten-free cigarettes, adorable tree rhinos, and Kim Kardashian's foreign policy analysis beckon. If an image gets caught in your Dodge Charger's grill, it's its own damn fault for chasing personification into the street. Someone else can call 911. There are bacon vodka cocktail recipes, Siamese cats struggling with eating disorders, and kohlrabi cleanses diets. Donald Trump had a wardrobe malfunction, and aliens from Area 51 created the HPV vaccine to make zombies of us all. And here's another short one called Yesterday's Coffee. The football player teaches flat earth theory. No one listens to me because even though my ambition wrote a slide rule through fields of trig tables to a career of punch cards and vacuum tubes, I can't throw a decent spiral. It's a tough game, advertising by clay tablet, when applause comes by telegraph, if at all. And there's that football player again, hawking extended warranties and multi-level marketing schemes of romance, leaving me rejected as a quill pen, disappointed as a steam locomotive, bitter as yesterday's coffee. You can find those poems and more in my latest collection, Rants of a Cranky Old Man, and I will post a link in the chat.
Thank you, Mr. Wezick. And we'll bring up our power couple for tonight. Let's start with Jan Rowe. I just asked to unmute, so it should be easier. Black Seed Writer, Stone Soup Poet, take it away.
I I love that title, John. Okay, this is a work in progress because the title has nothing to do with the rest of it. Um, it's called Wait for a Mate, etc. Okay. Ministry on the steps of the cathedral, 138 Tremont, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday 10 to 2, saw Kate, and she was formerly in the Black Sea Riders. Now she's in Marshfield, near Duxbury, where Episcopal sisters are in community. We went there once for a picnic. Also, those sisters used to be on top of Fort Point Hill, prime real estate. It was sold. I mean, they had Frank Lloyd Garrison's house. He was abolitionist, and they had a retreat, and they sold it for Haiti. Um, so Haiti had the earthquake, and the cathedral down there kind of pancaked. So they sold that prime real estate to give to them, which was very interesting. And also, the earthquake was so bad that Haiti, they finally had to stop paying reparations. What were they paying reparations for? Slavery. They were the first ones to be freed from this slavery. And how did they do it? With the yellow fever. They just said, wait, the yellow fever. And so I would end with some of you oldsters may remember Rita Coolidge and her song Fever. Thank you. It's just a work in progress.
Oh,
Thank you,
Jerome,
Jan. And we'll conclude the open mic with our closing for tonight. Check out his column at Oddball Magazine. It's all one thing every Thursday morning at 11 without fail. Let's welcome James Van Loy.
thanks, Chad. So I just been reading this kind of documentary book about the beats. So I have this poem here that I wrote called a long time ago, actually. Of course, that's some soup. I read it first. The Beat Blob. This is called the Beat Blob. The Blob. The thing that came from outer space, God only know where. Streaking comet from beyond imagination, a center that envelops all the other centers, the blob. The blob. Oh, I watched the blob yesterday, and Steve McQueen was in it with some Bruni queen who reminded me of my wife when she was 20. And they sure were cool, driving around the Hollywood sets of small town Main Street, USA, already then being engorged by the automobile suburbia that was the big, boxy, street stream American Detroit muscle cars that bore Steve and his Bruni queen only the only youth they can see with the innocence of adolescence desire, the monster that is growing with some first old fool pokes at the vessel fallen from the sky of the universe and is enveloped up his arm, whose doctor and nurse are quickly dispatched until dozens disappear in supermarket and cinema until the whole diner itself is engorged, engulfed, and only the victims in his basement epiphany discover that nothing can stop the blob except CO2, carbon dioxide, the global warming gas. And the last scene in the blob is the blob, frozen by CO2 fire extinguishers from the town public high school. Where were those school vouchers then when we really needed them? Parachuted onto the North Pole, just the size of its dozens of small town victims, even as we realize, oh my God, the North Pole, just the size of the dozens of small towns, which we realize, oh my God, but CO2 caused global warming is now predicted to melt the polar ice cap in just a few years by 2020 or something like that. The blob of suburban energy waste is trying to melt the blob. The blob is coming. The blob is coming. Run, 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 run. And here's the song that goes with it. I've been working on the innovations all the live long. I've been working on innovations just to pass such a time of strife. Can't you hear the supervisor calling? Rise up so early in the morn. Can't you hear the captain crying? Gabriel, blow your horn. Gabriel, won't you blow? Gabriel, won't you blow? Gabriel, won't you blow your horn? Gabriel, won't you blow? Gabriel, won't you blow? Gabriel, won't you blow your horn? Someone's in the break room with Gabriel. Someone's in the break room, I know. Someone's in the break room when Gabriel strumming on the laptop, oh, and singing B5 fiddly-I-O, B5 fiddly-I-O, B5 fiddly-I-O, strumming on the old laptop. Oh, we had such trouble with this laptop getting to see you tonight. So glad to be with you. Thank you. Tonight. Ooh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all.
So American. I didn't know what else to follow it with, but that was very impressive, James. Thank you so much. And it gives me great pleasure to close this chapter on the open mic and thank the open mic for their participation and get ready for our feature tonight. And I'm putting in the link to her new book that you can pre-order. I've already hopefully guaranteed myself a copy by paying up front. I hope the rest of you do too, especially after tonight's feature. The the boilerplate reads as such. Oh, and definitely come back next week for Mark Goldfinger's feature, and I hope to announce the final feature by the end of the week. It's gonna be a nice another homecoming for an old friend of the venue. So I hope you guys are able to make it for all of them, leading up to the first week of August, which I'll probably take off, and then return with another finish to this hot summer. But tonight the feature is Mary Ann Honaker, and the feature bio boilerplate bio reads as such. Mary Ann Honaker is the author of Becoming Persephone, Third Lung Press, Whichever Way the Moon from Main Street Rag, and now Night is Another Realm Altogether, on pre-release sale as I speak with the publisher Sheila Nagig. Her poems have appeared in Bear Review, Diagram, Jam WW, I hope I'm saying that right, Juked, Lil Palaxent Review, Rattle.com, River Heron Review, Solstice, Sweet Time Review, Tuskegee Review, and elsewhere. She currently lives in Beckley, West Virginia. Stone Soup was proud to have her feature when she was debuting her book from a couple of years ago, Whichever Way the Moon, a highly recommended tome. And we've been hearing her on and off on the open mic ever since then. And now, I'm sure we're going to hear Golden Shovels galore, selections from the book, and a whole lot more. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together 30, 40 times, at least, minimum, bare minimum, virtually otherwise, for Mary Ann Honaker.
Hello, I will just be reading a Golden Shovels simply from the book Night is Another Realm Altogether. Is Ying Liang. I'm curled into a ball in bed, blankets covering me. Baby Ying Liang was tucked inside her egg, in a coiled position suggesting she was about to hatch. I'm not about to hatch. I'm more like a boulder buried in the earth. I am not changing. I am not going forward. I am not rising to the surface. Ying Liang was found in her fossilized egg among rocks, at least 66 million years old. She has been about to hatch for millions of years, her tail tucked around her, nearly touching her face. I, too, have been trying to hatch for a long time, to spring forth from the earth which imprisons me, inert, but my spine pushes against stone. Yin Liang means bright and lustrous like a gem. Gemstones are found within the earth, Hades' riches. I am part of Hades' riches now as well. If I shine, it is only for him and for the dead arrayed around their king, a muttering fog. From colonial times, Yin Liang was a measurement, a British ounce. This is probably about my worth and weight, useless and shivering in my sweat-stained bed. Yin Liang also means ambition, strength, independence, and determination. Baby Yin Liang had a direction, to hatch, to grow into a oviraptorosaur. Now she is fossilized bones, forever frozen in her state of becoming. I, too, am stopped in time. The person I intended to be, at most a mist on the horizon, has dissipated. Yin Liang can also mean enlighten. Am I closer to that sunburst of knowing, that parting of the mind's clouds, because I teeter on the precipice between the living and the dead? She mentioned that most of these poems are about my diagnosis of MECFS, chronic fatigue syndrome. This next one is called Cleft. The pine broke in the storm's gales, creating a jagged wound. 75% gone in an instant. I found myself stumbling over my own Converses on the way back from my daily walk. This was the beginning. The tree had one branch left. The rest of its body was sawn and carted away. Every day I visited the sea, its jumbled voice falling over itself, its ivory parallelograms shifting across its jade surface. Gradually I lost strength. Sometimes after work I'd sit on the couch in a silent room, thinking nothing. It was such a relief to have no words in my head. I dwindled inside a failing body. I cut my work hours. The power bill wasn't paid. I sat in the dark lighting candles. Once in sub-zero temperatures, I stumbled to the wharf anyway. The waves were frozen mid-surge. I am frozen mid-life. My mind stutters. My eyes lean toward closing. My heart refuses. My arms ache softly. I let them lay where they fall. It's just my traitorous body and me now. I don't walk or my legs burn. I pant and sweat. I sleep as soon as I come home, drenched and emptied in bed. I miss the purl of the waves lapping against the wharf, the ravenous gulls dropping mollusks on rocks. I miss pausing among the pines as their needles susurrate in imitation of silence. The pine in the backyard stretches out its final arm. It lives its quarter life. I wonder if wood carries memories, if it knows it was once more. Every organ of my body remembers being. Now that I'm less, the cleft remnant of me mourns. This one's called Seventh Period. It's for my high school friend Mike Mills. The spicy scent of sun-baked leaves always recalls to me cigarette smoke, propels me along my pilgrimage to find the waterfall we'd visit when we skipped seventh period. First we trekked through the woods where the sun fluttered on trunks like fairy lights. We carried our Walkmans and traded headphones to hear what the other heard. A clearing appeared, then the waterfall, small, smoothly spilling into its perfectly clear pool. The new trail leads to two waterfalls, but I can't find it, our place, not since they pushed the landscape around for the new highway. Maybe it is gone like you are gone, having chosen the earth's arms over adulthood. I can see us, perched on the rock ledges, two misfit kids in all black, feet dangling over the water. We've pulled out notebooks from our bags. You are drawing. I'm writing a poem. This one's called Gemini. On the way here, I've swam a few muddy rivers, dunked down and breathed in. What flays the old me, so that the new me steps out confused and bloody? All you can see is soaked red skin and blue eyes. My eyes never change. Everything else can and does. I drop a few fingers or toes. My body whips snake-like and I grow scales. Later I will be moonlit dew, wearing a halo of half moon. When I wear a dress, I throw my shoulders back, take small steps, in such a straight line that my legs seem to weave around one another. When I put on my biker jacket, my walk changes. I have my shoulders high and my steps are large and far apart. Once my inner landscape burned like hell, and I threw as many logs into the fire as I could. The fire banked. I panicked and threw my soul in. Once I cleared my inner landscape of all unnecessary furniture. Everything became white as I swept the ashes away. I am a Gemini. There are at least two of me from the bloody, screaming beginning. I was born with sharp little teeth like a cat's. My mother did not breastfeed me. From that lack of touch I grew quills. Once my inner landscape was so filled up with another person I couldn't find myself. Within me, barren mountains surge up where plains of hollyhock flourished, or a sea pulls back to reveal a desert. I thought one world, then I thought another, then another. I couldn't stop. I thought so much I grew hollow horns to make space for all my thinking. Everyone knows the good is constant and unchangeable. I peel back another face to search for where the good may be hiding. The laws of MECFS. Gravity is stronger because I am ill. I feel the constant pull of the earth. I drop to my knees, rest my forehead on the floor. Words get lost in the corridors of my brain. Your mouth is moving and the sound is coming out. I've been asked a question I can't answer. The sun is cooler because I am sick. It's summer and I'm wrapped in a blanket. It's winter and I'm wrapped in three. When a dog barks, I'm reminded of the world still outside my window. But my bed is my universe. I climb the mountains heaved up by its sheets. I fall into steep ravines. The lamp is my sun, its shade a thin cloud. Night comes by light switches, day by light switches. Night and day could be any time. The law of attraction states that if I go out and walk around the mall, then I will be pulled into my bed for days. I try to reel in parts of who I was, but they are attached to me by filaments of a spider web. The web disintegrates at a touch, and I am no one. The web gleams at a certain angle of light. Once a year the sun strikes it right, and I am a whole being again. I blink and wake up hours later. I sigh and a fraction of a second passes. Time shortens and lengthens. This is relativity. If I am alive, time shrinks. If I am dead, time becomes eternity. I am dead most of the time, or a needle's width away from death. One sleep plus one sleep equals still sleepy. This is math. 2 sleeps plus 2 sleeps equals utter exhaustion. The day has disappeared into the mouth of night. Today is the same as yesterday, as the day before. All time is now, and now I am ill. This is quantum physics. From the beginning of the world I have been ill. When the second hand stops ticking forward, I will still be sick. This is eschatology. Thought I'd take a drink. This one's called World Fall. When I was 7 years old, I fell out of a tree. At the end of the world, one of the world tree's roots will die, along with the old gods. I fell flat on my back from a limb I could only reach on tiptoes. I have no other way of measuring my fall other than by my own body. My body remembers being unable to breathe, panic, staring up at the sun tickling the leaves. The moment extends forever and will touch the moment that the tree dies by saw or fire, and will touch the moment the world tree sustains its immortal wound. I had to wrap my hands around the lowest branch, then walk my feet up the trunk. Then I would swing one leg over the limb and shimmy upright on it. I can't remember how. I can't remember how you and I got to this impasse where we both want to move forward, but there is a single night we can't stop clutching. When I found myself upright on that branch, the whole tree became mine. I could climb any limb I dared. I could go up and up. I thought before that night with you that I owned myself. The moment I passed out will last until the old gods die. It is here now. It will always be here. The world tree shivered all over when I hit the ground. It felt an essential source dying, a nourishment turned sour. The moment my breath came back into me, the rift between the tree and me was mended. Nothing can mend the rift between my body and myself. This is called Not a Love Poem. If this is a love poem, it has forgotten everything that is true about you. I was a falling star. You crushed me under your shoes until my embers went out. You had this power because of your perfect white teeth. I was a June bug on a string to you, tethered by one leg. You enjoyed the light dazzling off my carapace. I lost that leg and stuttered free, lessened and crooked, but alive. You had this power because of the glory of your moonshot hair. I am a vase you cracked with a hard slap. My water leaked out and my daisies died. I would count on those daisies, desperate, petal by petal. You always loved me not. You had this power because your salted words summoned mine. Your thin body was full of crackling energy. Near you I produced a spark. I was an ant under your magnifying glass. I wobbled and fell beneath the burns on my back. You had this power because of your hazel eyes. Your pupils would wax so black I could levitate up into your night like one does in a dream. By the time my feet found the ground again, you had forgotten me. I disappear in the night. I step over the night's sharp teeth, walk down her throat. I'm swallowed. I am my shadow. In the distance, gunshots. There are always gunshots at night. Then silence floods back in, a river released from its dam. A stream of moonlight waters the grasses, builds a sturdy path of shine. I could follow it, but it would get me no closer to the moon. Daylight eats it up like a ribbon of licorice. The next night it will appear again at a changing angle. The grasses caress each other's throats as the night sighs. I sigh and turn liquid. I flow directionless. A dog's sharp bark shakes the window panes. The air trembles and I follow the tremble, listening to sounds shifting landscape. Mostly the world pulls back into houses. Mostly the darkness is herself, the primordial mother. Mother's children are the owl, the moth, the possum, the coyote, and the deer that leaps in front of headlights, startling. I can't know what's around the next bend of this mountain road. I would need to go very far into night's belly to see the Milky Way. My city glows upward, a red smear on the horizon. Without city lights, night would be whole, with no ground and no sky. It would be bones and flesh then. I could hear its heartbeat. My illness holds me in night's teeth, so I'm closer to death than most are. Ghosts no longer frighten me. They're as humdrum as morning coffee. They happen, then they slide through the sane fissure of morning. No one finds me or my shadow in the night. I can stay there for days. And my last one is considering dandelions with ME/CFS. Dandelions close their faces at night. Dark green cones tucked tight. The little yellow disc will be back. When the sun touches them, warms their stems, they'll open. The slow light of morning filters through the trees, almost as silver as the moon, tiptoes like a dancer and point. Dawn is uncertain, shy. Under clouds, darkness falls back, into a chrome gleam that by degrees becomes white, then buttercream, then tinged by the most spare yellow. The dew is still on the lawn, twinkling. Little gems drop from each closed cone. I should sit in the morning and watch them. How long before the dandelions spread their blooms wide? Foolish me. I write this like someone who could flower. And that's it. Thank you.
Give it up 30, 40 more times at least. I'm in pain and I can do this. You guys can do this too. Hooray. So is that an actual copy of the book?
It's the proof copy.
Proof copy. Got it. Hopefully I'll be getting my real copy soon, and hopefully all of you do not forget to order from the link I just sent you. I will add it to the comment section tomorrow, to the photo I post at the end of the week tomorrow. So if you can't grab it now, consider grabbing it later, and consider supporting as many poets as you can. What's the next project, Mary?
I've already written it.
Wow.
It's Golden Shovels. All those golden shovels I've been reading you guys, collected, and it's going to be published by Lily Press next
Wow.
year.
It takes an army of publishers to keep up with you. That's fantastic. Hope you let us know when it comes out, and I hope I get the book soon. Thank you very much for featuring tonight. Thanks to everyone who came out to Stone Soup, and thanks in advance for those of you who are able to support Mary, and definitely check out that link, and definitely check out news of other features. Hopefully, I'll be posting our closing feature for August once I get confirmation from her, as she is also in a different time zone. But someone who has been with the Stone Soup in the past and with the Boston poetry scene, and she's making a comeback. But that's not before Mark Goldfinger, who will be featuring next week on the 22nd. I'm looking forward to all the features for the rest of the year, especially for the rest of the summer. And I hope you guys as many of you as possible can make as many features as possible. I have more surprises coming up. Check out my blog and Facebook. I might be posting some Stone Soup oddities that I came into possession of not too long ago, actually less than a day ago. And I'll be making announcements and posts about those as well. So some exciting news coming down. But thank you so much, Mary, for your feature, and thanks to everyone else. Obligatory wave time. It's kind of scary out there, at least if you're in Boston and you see it. Somebody actually said it looks like Night of the Comet out there. Some of you who are born in the 80s, raised in the 80s, will get that reference, but it's kind of crazy. And I hope all of you stay safe. Hope all of you are breathing as clean enough air as possible. And I hope you guys stay safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of somebody else, especially if you're in Maine. Take care of yourself, John. I'll be watching things. I'll be watching for you, and I hope you have a good night. So thank you guys very much. And as I've said before and say again, the show's over. We see you next time.